Big show today. We're going to leave this show with our version of a really way too early United States Ryder Cup team. And then we've got a lot more to talk about. We get into, look, I love getting into the team. We also get into Mr. Tiger Woods walking around like he's waiting to be subbed in to hit the next golf shot, which I'm obsessed with. We talk about doom scrolling quite a bit, all of it, because again, it's this time of year. It's July 22nd. The majors are over. We really, really, really go to bat for the Players Championship becoming a major. So there's a lot of stuff here, and it's all brought to you by our great friends at Chevrolet and the Equinox EV, Trent.
Yeah, I'm very curious what people think of our Ryder Cup team. That's way too early. And I am very curious to hear what people think about us. Really, yeah, we made the case for the Players Championship to be an actual major. I know that's the conversation every single year, but we go through the whole thing. We talk about what do we do with the guys who won it in the past? Do we just retroactively give them a major? We do the whole thing. We went through the whole exercise of what would it actually look like if the Players Championship was a major, and that was actually really fun. And the whole show, there's a lot more than that, but the whole show is brought to you by our friends at Chevrolet.
It was more fun than I would have expected it to be. I enjoyed the hell out of that conversation. You're going to enjoy the hell out of the Equinox EV, which has a massive 17-inch diagonal center screen. It is the largest of any EV in its class. You can leave the driving up to the Equinox EV, show up to the course energized with available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance technology. When it comes to EVs, Chevy Equinox EV is the smartest choice you can make. He looks like he's looking for his ball after missing a fairway.
Dude, everybody who saw that guy that day was like, oh, well, that's Tiger Woods.
That's like seeing Mickey Mantle walking around with a Yankee jersey and a baseball bat. You're at the local coffee shop. You're like, why is Mickey Mantle wearing his Yankee uniform right now?
Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports, second show of the week. We're coming down from the final major championship of the year. We got 5 PGA Tour events left, gentlemen, including the 3 playoff events. And then it'll be Ryder Cup time. So I did a good amount of looking at the Ryder Cup rosters. I would like us to leave this show today with our United States Ryder Cup team. That's
fantastic.
That's our goal today. We don't have to do it right now. We got some other stuff to hop into. I want to talk a little Scotty. There's Happy Gilmore too, which they're a sponsor of the show today, by the way. So we can get into the premiere and Tiger Woods made an appearance in full uniform. So we got plenty to talk about, but I would like to put in the back of your brains that I think we need to leave today's show with a Foreplay graphic, a Foreplay 2025 Ryder Cup Team USA as of right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. So I think it'll take us some time to kind of go through that because that team has a lot of surprises on it, has a lot of question marks. There's going to have to be some bold decisions made. Some people are going to have to get skipped over. So yeah, it's an interesting topic for sure. Bethpage is not going to be the easiest team to pick for Captain Keegan, especially if he's picking himself.
I think as we go through this, eventually he's going to have to pick himself. I'm
Correct.
looking at or we might not win this thing. It's getting crunch time. And like I said, it's the next big thing. It is. I looked up technically the halfway point in the year in the what is it? What is the calendar that we use? The Georgian.
Which one do we use?
What do they call the calendar
Mayan.
there?
No, it's it's right on the tip of my tongue. I cannot think of it.
Tip of my tongue. It is the Gregorian calendar. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Standard calendar for civil purposes was introduced in 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th. Anyways, I looked that up. July 2nd is the official halfway point in the year. It's July 22nd while we're talking right now, and golf is over. It's like we got the Ryder Cup left, and we got the playoff events, which we'll get a little hyped about. Sure, we'll talk about the net scoring, and we'll laugh about that. And Scotty, can somebody catch it? We'll do all that stuff. It'll be fun. The BMW, it's good stuff. But for the most part, we got the Ryder Cup left. It's 20 days after the halfway point in the year, and that's the event that we got left on this calendar. So it's kind of wild. I know if you go back to the show in May, we're all hyped up to the PGA Championship move to May, right? We're all jazzed, and it's like bang, 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 bang. Players Championship, major after major after major after major. It's awesome. But then you end up right here where, like I said, it feels like we just celebrated 4th of July. I was just watching. We were just talking about fireworks shooting off, danger. Glad we got our hands together here. And golf's over except for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that the putt dropped on Sunday at the Open Championship, I started thinking about football, which I didn't mean for it to happen, but it just started to happen. But you know, if you think about a regular sports season, like I think we at this point, and maybe people who run golf want it to be this, where it's like a year round thing. There's no year round sports like that. Like all the major sports have their, they have their opening day, and then they go through the playoffs and they finish. To assume golf is going to dominate, 10 months of the year is impossible. I don't even I mean, the only sport that could do that, I think, is football. At a certain point, you just got to have, here's the meat of your season where everybody's going to be paying attention, and then it's going to drop off until, this year we've got the Ryder Cup, obviously, or the Ryder Cup. But then the Masters is kind of the next big thing, and I think that's pretty normal for sports to have a good run during the meat of their season, and then there's a point where people are like, I don't care about this anymore.
I think Brian Harmon made that point on this show. I think he kind of had the point of like football, even though it's king in the United States of America, like spring football, XFL, all that stuff has never really worked. Like people need a break. If you give it to them all the time, it doesn't have the same effect. It's like not as on steroids as the World Cup soccer, for example, but it's like that bad boy's every 4 years. It makes it insanely important every time. You only get so many chances to win it. So I think that is a very good point. But I guess for me, I would say the counter would kind of be that it's like it is most people's golf season right now, and like the golf season's kind of over. Is that weird overlap?
Yeah, and I mean it's only 4 months, right? Like April till July is not enough time, I feel like. But it is, once you're in the middle of it, it feels like it's nonstop. It definitely dominates our lives because it's every week, and from the Masters to the PGA to the US Open, it feels like it's every single week, which is a good feeling while you're in it. And Trent and I talked about this on one of the podcasts that you were at the Barstool Classic on, and I was like, I'm sure that we've been on podcasts years ago saying that the PGA Championship needs more of an identity, and then moving it might be good to be right into the mix. And then now that we've had a couple of years of it, now seeing where it's at and how we feel, that 4 month span coming and going so fast. Like I actually said on the pod, like, oh, I think the PGA should move back to being the last major because that's more of an identity than anything. Like instead of being the bridge from the Masters to the US Open, like being the final major, even if you put it a couple of weeks, like maybe you put it in late August or mid-August, where it's like you have that lead up to the final major. You know where everyone's at. Guys can really see where their game is, and it feels like everything just comes in a blip, right? It's just like a blink of an eye. You don't know where anyone's game is at. You don't know how they're playing. So yeah, no, it's interesting. It definitely comes and goes, man. It's unlike any other sport where it's just there and then it's gone.
I would be on board with moving the US Open to be the last major of the year. I think moving the weakest major to the last tournament of the year, I think you screw yourself over, because I think we would be almost having the same conversation, but with like, oh yeah, but we still got the PGA Championship, I guess. I don't think it's a strong enough major to be the last one of the year to be like, all right, we're finishing off golf. But hey, if the US Open wants to move to the final one, I'd be more than happy with that. Imagine we still had the US Open to go and be like, all right, we got the US Open coming up. But I just don't think putting the PGA last, and it obviously was in the past, makes it any more riveting than it would be as the second one.
I think golf is in such a better place now than it used to be. And like I think that the PGA would benefit from having like that moment to shine, just because now there's the parity in golf is so strong. Like it was never like this. It felt like, where no matter what the majors, no matter what the tournament is, people are going to tune in because there's 20 different guys that have storylines and have a ton of fans. So I don't know. I just think it's in a different spot than it was when they moved. It wasn't just like a couple of guys dominating the tour. It's like people are going to show up now for any major.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's, like Rory when he won the Masters. And then, he was almost a personification of what we're talking about. Of like, it almost didn't have time to breathe. And then it was like PGA Championship time. Whereas the Masters is so the Masters that I do think you kind of, I don't want to say get away with, but you do sort of get away with more of having a couple months afterwards for everyone to digest the Masters tournament and come down a little bit from it and then build back up to major championships. And I do think a lot of folks agree that the Players Championship wasn't as good in May as it was as it is in March. And we had the Players in May, and then Glory's last shot. That was like their tagline, right, for the PGA. That's like what they tried to hone in on. So I don't know. I guess it's just a couple guys right now that you had the same conversation in mid-May. We're all jacked up that it's like PGA Championship time. Let's go. Give it to me. I'm a fiend right now. I need it. Whereas now we're a little bit sad that we've got nothing, until the Ryder Cup that's even close to the level of what we've gotten for the last 4 straight months. And it is kind of a bummer. And yeah, if it was like a PGA Championship coming up in late August, that was like a match play event or something, I do think that would have more of a chance of really sticking it out in terms of identity. Because, I think we did it leading up to Quail Hollow this year as well, where it's like we went through the lineup of the last 8-9 PGA Championships since we've started doing this show, and it might have the best like drama of all of any of the majors so far. It's had just banger after banger after banger. I mean, when they were in St. Louis, the Tiger was chasing Brooks Koepka. When Phil won at Keogh, when you had Morikawa during COVID hit that, made the eagle on 16 at Harding Park. You just had some insane. I'm sure there's a couple in there that I'm forgetting that were awesome. But you had
Justin Thomas winning because of what's his name's fucking
Mito Pereira.
Mito Pereira make
swing.
A double at Southern Hills.
That might be the most drama we've ever seen. This guy just changed his swing, got the yips.
And then legit goes into the playoff was, what was it, Matty Fitz and Justin Thomas or Will Zalatoris? Matty Fitz was right there. Will Zalatoris, who like played well in the playoff, actually. JT was just unstoppable. But yeah, like it's delivered maybe better than any of the other ones, yet we still every year when we talk about it are like, what is the identity of this thing? When are they going to find the identity of that thing? So I guess sitting here now with like another kind of hole in the schedule, and I know FedEx Cup playoffs and all that, it's just they're not majors. They're not up to the Players Championship level. They're not up to the Memorial Tournament level. They just really aren't, in my opinion. I think in most people's opinion. So you're kind of left being like, all right, it's like, I, as a human being, if you're a normal weekend golfer out there that listens to this show, you're sort of hitting your stride right now. It's fucking mid-July. It's summertime. You got longer days. You'll be able to sneak off after work, hit balls, play a couple 9-hole rounds with your crew. Like you're feeling like you're just hitting your stride when it comes to golf season. And the actual major golf season is over. There's nothing until the Masters tournament. You got the Ryder Cup, but outside of that, you got the Masters is the next major. And I just think that's kind of wild at this point.
Just make the Players a major, man.
Yeah.
Every golf fan dances around it. They say it's the 5th major. They put all of the same pressure and all of the, attention is on it just as much as a major. And we remember the wins as much as we remember majors. It's like, just give the PGA Tour a massive event, which they already have, but just toss the word major on it. Now, I don't know if you would have to go back and give past champions of the Players Championship, retroactively give them majors now. I think that's probably the biggest thing that they're worried about of doing that. Right? Because we
get Tiger a little bit closer.
How many has he won?
2.
Wow. And
but I don't know how many Jack's won. I think Jack definitely won there for sure.
Oh yeah, let me actually look at that.
Don't ask
Jacks don't count, I think Jack might have won even there before they moved it to Sawgrass.
I think that makes me feel better because if you're not changing like history where like Tiger now is the most majors, I think you can actually do this then.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's a good point. Because
Jack won 3.
So we're preserving like the list then. So Tiger actually loses one there.
We're hurting ourselves, really.
Right. We're hurting ourselves. But like I think that's fine, dude. I think you can do this. Like just do this now.
Well, you got to also think about the guys who, and I don't know who they are, I'd have to go through the list, like didn't win a major during their career, but won a Players Championship. And they're like, by the way, you're a major winner now.
But the Players is that impressive to win.
Like
I think they deserve that credit. Like I think it's that big.
Ricky Fowler gets one.
Yeah, it's that impressive. It's that impressive to win.
I think you're right. I really do. Like I think the Players Championship is up there. Do you think if the organization behind the Players Championship was any other organization that people would be more on board for it or less on board for it?
I think it goes hand in hand. I think the reason why it is what it is because it's like the PGA Tour flagship event. So like I feel like you can't, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
like it is the players because it is the biggest event of the year for the PGA Tour. So like you can't say like if someone else ran it, it'd be a major. Like everything that it is why it is what it is. If that makes any sense. Like
It is, but I just wonder if like the narrative around the PGA Tour has gotten to the point whenever people started like, whispering that maybe this thing should be a major, that like there's enough negative around the PGA Tour that people were like, we're not giving the PGA Tour a major championship.
which is insane. It's like that's the league. How do they not have a big event like that? How do you not have a major? Who makes the major call?
Dude, that was my next question. How do you get anointed as like this now counts as a major? How do those 4 get it?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I know our friend Trevor Immelman is like the chairman now of the official World Golf Rankings, which we all agree, right, is just a website that somebody bought years ago. And then they just they now get to pick who's in the Masters. They get to pick who's in everything.
That's right.
And so what if we just start a website that's like
the majors?
We pick the majors.com and then you just start
because it is close, right? I mean, it's gotten to the point at the very least when you're listing off an accomplishments or accolades for a golfer, you say they've got X amount of majors and they've got X amount of players championships. So you're as close as you can get in regards to when you're rattling off their accomplishments. I just don't know what goes into it becoming like, oh, this now counts towards the major collection.
Who does make that call? Do we know who makes that call?
I don't.
I want to change it bad. Like I'm looking through, like nothing really changes with history. Like Rory gets 2 more, but then also like Scotty gets 2 more. So like that preserves like the current top dogs in our generation right now that are kind of going hand in hand. You got Tiger Woods with 2
Brooks
more.
Brooks will be mad about that, I think. Brooks will be like, you guys just passed me for no reason.
Which is fine. I mean, Brooks is like hasn't really been playing. He only had like 2 years of really dominating out there. Jack Nicklaus won 3 and Tiger won 2. So like he gets to preserve that. Freddie Couples gets 2 and Steve Elkington gets 2. You know what I mean? Like there's all these guys that they just kind of
great guest on this show.
Elk was a great guest on this show.
They just kind of like all stay hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like no one really, you give Ricky Fowler 1 and like there's some random guys in there for sure. Martin Keimer.
But that's like deserved. I think you made a great point. That's like, when I do think about that, when someone says like, but how about Ricky Fowler? What an overrated career. Like my answer is like, dude, what did he shoot? Like 6 under the last 5 holes to get into a playoff and then went into that playoff and just kept birding the 17th hole to beat our guy Kevin Kisner in a playoff at the Players Championship. That's like, I mean, that's kind of up there with a major. I don't think he was like less nervous because people haven't technically called it a major. That was like, that was as big as it gets. I'm looking it up on ChatGPT and it says, and this actually now makes me go full circle and kind of understand that, like, of course, there's no official term because to my knowledge, there's no real like extra category benefit to something being a major or not a major, right? Like we just call it that.
It's like it says in the Barstool Golf Society event on PGA Tour 2K25, when I'm making an event, I can just click the word major, or I can click it to be like a highlighted event or just a regular event. Like there's no, like there's someone doing that. Someone did that with our golf in real life.
So,
right. This was a major.
There is no single governing body that decides what is or isn't a major championship in golf. Instead, the status of a air quote major is based on tradition, consensus among players and media, and the event's global prestige. That's it.
Right.
How do we all just say it's a major then?
Right. If you get media and players on board at a consensus, if everyone agrees on the same thing, then the Players Championship can just become a major. If they just start saying it, and they should, because a couple of these guys get a couple more majors, and that's the most important thing in the world.
I mean, if you go back since 2013, if I read off the names of winners, you're like, that's worthy of history, right?
Let's
like Tiger Woods, Martin Keimer, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, Siwoo Kim, Webb Simpson. All right. And then Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Cam Smith, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy. Those
are all major winners there.
You go back and you're like, those are major winners. Those are names of like the biggest names that we have in this game that are winning these things in playoffs and it's memorable wins at the most iconic course on the PGA Tour. Like, what are we talking about here?
Webb Simpson in there is a
Maybe not
major
Pebble Beach,
championship winner, and he was a great player for a long stretch there.
Yeah.
Really good player. Wore it ain't no hobby hat when he played the cradle. Love that. That's a hell of a list of winners right there on that tournament. Here's another good little line. It says major status is recognized by the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, OWGR, and golf historians. So, I mean, I think we fit into that group somewhere, right? I mean, if the website's in that group and golf historians are in that group.
Even back in like the late 90s, like Fred Couples, Elkington, Justin Leonard, Hal Sutton, David Duval, Tiger Woods, Davis Love III, Greg Norman, Nick Price. Like these are fucking this is a big tournament, man.
Like let's talk about the actual like what makes a major really, and what it does, and the US Open would say this too, or the USGA, is it identifies the best player. And if you go through the list of all those are the best players pretty much at that time. And that's what you want.
I would say, yeah, it identifies the best player. And I would say it really comes down to the actual players themselves feeling like this week is on par with the biggest weeks that we possibly have in the year. You know, like they, instead of getting there Tuesday afternoon and fucking around a little bit, they get there like Sunday evening and they check in and they register and their whole family comes in and they get a house for the week because it's a major week. And I would say for all of them that I get the feeling that the Players Championship is there for all of them. The golf course is so iconic. I think that's a huge part of it, is that they go to like the best, most iconic golf courses in the world for the most part. And the play, we've talked about it. Like I think Sawgrass is probably top 5 most iconic golf courses on the planet. That's just the one that people know. It delivers, man. Like the finishes have been phenomenal. Like even when Scotty, Rory's was obviously amazing in the playoff with the rain delay, but even Scotty's when he was like running away a little bit, like the battling down the stretch when it was him and Xander and God, who else was up there? Oh, Wyndham Clark with the lip out. Like we've had some insane Players Championships. So yeah, I think that's a great point. Just make that thing a major championship.
I just don't think you're ruffling any feathers by doing it, because I think the historians are fine. Like I said, everything's kind of preserved. Yes, you're giving a couple guys one that like maybe you don't. It could be argued over, a Guinness for years to come if Ricky Fowler should be a major winner or not. I just think that's fine. I think he earned it. I think it's at a level of winning that it deserves the same recognition as winning the PGA Championship. Like winning at Harding Park. No disrespect to Colin Morikawa, like that's just. For me, it's like Ricky Fowler winning at TPC Sawgrass is as memorable for me as that, if not more.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think we got to get this going. Maybe we get Trevor Immelman involved. We start to get all these heads of these states to start talking about like, how do we make this official? Because it's almost like Bitcoin conversation where it's like, oh, it's too far. It's like, we might just be at the beginning of this thing. When did that tournament even start? In like the early 70s? Like if you want golf to be around for hundreds of years, make it a major now. We're not too far gone. Just retroactively give guys a major. Some guys, has anyone passed? Has anyone passed on?
Passed away?
Yeah, that's one.
I'm sure.
You think?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it was early 80s they established the Players at like Sawgrass.
Did Arnie ever win one?
The inaugural event was 1974. Dude, I don't think. No, because fucking Jack Nicklaus won the first one. Like, there's going to be a couple guys here that may have passed on. Mark Hayes, is he still with us?
Not sure.
Not 100% sure.
This is a big moment. Ah, shit.
You all right?
Yep.
What's going on?
Passed away. 2018. I'm just thinking, like the odds.
His family would love it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like a lot of the guys are still with us, where it's like you're giving them that moment. It's not like you're retroactively giving someone a major championship from 1906. Like this thing started in the 1970s. Like we can still do this, man. Give these guys the recognition they deserve.
What's the argument against it? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
No, Lenny Watkins is still alive.
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is people saying you can't just change history. Historically, you can't. Like we have 4 majors, and to that, I would counter it with, I'm looking right now. The modern four majors were established in the early 1960s. The Masters started in 1934. So that was like 30 years after the Masters started is when people were like, okay, now we have four majors, it appears. So there's a precedent for this. It wasn't like history began and there were four major championships in golf, right? Like that had to evolve to that point. And so I know Brandle's been fighting this fight for a long time as well. But I think that Trent is like the biggest one where it's like I could see like my dad and my dad's generation being like, now what the fuck are you saying with five majors? Is everybody getting a participation trophy now? Is that this new generation? Are you kidding me? We're just Oprah Winfrey over here. You get a major. You get a major. He'd be like, there's no way. That's just not how it works. And I would understand that argument a little bit, but I would say like history, the whole point of history is it comes from somewhere and it evolves and it changes. And they added the Masters tournament.
Now,
when
did they
first
go back
had it,
and give people major wins after they declared it a major at the Masters?
they had to have. Like, I don't think people that won a Masters in the 1940s aren't considered major winners.
Okay.
Well, that'd be another good precedent. That would be if you
This
can
has happened already.
retroactively
Anyone
give these
listening to
guys
this podcast
majors.
being like, these foreplay guys always have the worst takes. This is horrible. It's like, this has happened in real life. Like,
Oh, yeah.
This has happened already with the Masters. Ever heard of it?
Right.
I love it.
Me too. And it's just if the real question
Yes.
is the tournament worthy of that designation, and that answer is yes.
And it gives us more time. This all kind of sparked of us saying that the season just kind of comes and goes, and this gives us that extra month. It adds to this season of like, and it already does that. The players already gets us jacked up. You know what I mean? It already does. We already feel that feeling
Correct.
of the major.
I completely agree.
So
and it says right here, yes, Masters champions were retroactively recognized as major winners once the Masters was widely accepted as one of the four majors by the 1960s. Here's how it unfolded. Masters began in 1934. As the Masters gained prestige, especially in the 1940s and in the 1950s, the golf world gradually began viewing it as a major. By the early 1960s, it had clearly joined the other three. Once that happened, all previous Masters winners dating back to 1934 were considered major champions retroactively. For example, Gene Sarazen, who won the Masters in 1935, shot heard around the world, is officially credited with 7 major championships, including his Masters win.
Boys, that's the real deal. Because if people are like, why would we ever do this? Just say they did it for the Masters. They were giving out green jackets retroactively. All right? That's
You're
a big
gonna say,
deal.
you're telling me Gene Sarazen, you don't consider the Masters win from Gene Sarazen to be a major win? That's what you're telling me if you don't think we should do this Players' Championship as a major? And the biggest, maybe the biggest argument is what Frankie was saying earlier. The league that runs the highest level of golf week in and week out and has since Arnold Palmer days doesn't have a major championship, yet we all agree that their biggest flagship event is on level with the I've said before, outside of the Masters tournament, I think it's the best event to go to for a spectator by far. I think
100%.
the whole layout, seeing the holes, seeing the course gives you that feeling that you get when you see Augusta, where you're there just as much to see the iconicness of the golf holes as you are the players. It's got the actual stadium build to it where it's elevated all around the green so you can see everything. The clubhouse is sick. It's like springtime in Jacksonville, Florida. It's just awesome. Florida, too, by the way. Florida doesn't really have any majors. No majors go to Florida. And Florida, I believe, has got to be logging the most rounds of golf of any state in the union.
It is just so interesting that the way a major becomes a major is people just feel it. It's all vibes. Becoming a major in golf is all vibes. Like even when you read the Masters one, the reasoning was people started to feel like it was on par with the other three. That's the exact same thing that's happening right now with the players.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for me is that the history is preserved. The leader is still the leader. No one's overtaking anything. There wouldn't be this crazy breaking news graphic that came across all the news stations that's like Tiger Woods has overtaken Jack Nicklaus in all-time majors because they've made the players a major championship. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's really going to change. I think we got to do it.
What I think the way it happens is we just start like non-conditionally referring to it as a major championship.
Right. We now have to say that Tiger has 17 majors.
Right.
Correct.
Jack has 21.
Fine. Way to go, Jack.
Honestly, it was pretty big that Rory won that Masters. I think that opens the door even more. As crazy as that sounds, you couldn't give him 2 more before he won the one after the decade drought. You know what I mean?
Everything's coming together for this, man. It's a major championship. It really is. I did not think we were going to go that way this year, or this podcast, this show.
No, I listen, this is a way better. Yeah, this is way better for us. I think this is our thing now. I think, I'm sure I think people have definitely fought this fight, and people have probably fought against it real hard. I don't see the argument against it. I really don't. I think it's preposterous that we just don't call it a major, and just for the reason of just not calling it. It is it's everything a major is without just the word major.
It's like a limbo major, right? Like it's like in between major status for everyone and just a big PGA Tour event. Because like we said, people will say, oh yeah, that guy won 2, like Martin Keimer. They'd be like, oh, that guy won 2 majors and he won the Players Championship. Like people say that.
Right.
I think Ricky Fowler's legacy changes the most. I'd have to go through the list, but I think him immediately getting a major, it changes everything. I mean, there's podcasts that we would have to erase because we've talked so much shit about this guy gets ricochet shots because all of his friends became the best golfers, the best major winners in the world, and he didn't get any of it.
It's got to drive him crazy that he has to correct people and be like, but I did win a Players. And then, society just doesn't give him that satisfaction. Nope. The consensus is that's not a major.
For seemingly no reason.
Amongst the peers and all of my competitors, we all take it the same way as we do a major. It's the most important. It's one of the most important events on our schedule. It was the sole reason why guys didn't want to leave the PGA Tour to go to LIV was the Players Championship.
John Rahm had his nose pressed up against the TV when Scotty was winning the Players. He's like, I can't believe I'm not playing in this event.
It's insane.
I love the Players, dude. Great logo.
It's got everything, man. It's got
but it is great.
Jingle,
If you
think
a logo.
It's
the
got
way
everything.
the world works now with golf is PGA Champion, and this is kind of what spurned this whole thing, but PGA Championships still mean way more than the Players currently.
Yeah, and the Players Championship has way more of an identity than the PGA Championship.
Totally agree.
No offense, I love the PGA Championship.
Players Championship kicks the PGA Championship's dick in
a lot of ways.
I'm sorry, and we love them both, but you can't sit there, listen to this thing, and tell me the Players Championship doesn't get you going more than the PGA.
But still, when if Justin Thomas and Ricky Fowler are trying to get they're each trying to get a dinner reservation at the hottest restaurant in Florida, let's say, Justin Thomas can say, I'm a 2-time major winner. Give me the table. I want it. And it means way more than Ricky Fowler's one Players Championship.
He's like, that guy hasn't won shit. Look at that guy.
Right. Justin Thomas is getting that table.
I know. Shit, man.
All right, that's our new thing.
I tried to text Trevor Immelman while we were doing it, but I realized I'm throwing a lot on his plate by just saying why. I almost wrote, why is the Players not a major? It's just, oof.
Oh, boy.
So he's a guy now who cannot go on record about, if he went on record and was like, I agree, I think the Players should be a major. That's news now.
No, that man, for the first time ever a couple months ago, turned me down hard, which I understood. It was right after he got announced as the new head of the OWGR, and he was just like, I can't right now. Things are a little hot. And I was like, I think you're right. I don't think you can just go on our show. I mean, you'll piss off Saudi Arabia if you come on our show and say the wrong thing, Right. And it's that's just no.
Right. We can talk for 20 minutes about how we think the Players Championship should be a major. It's not going to make any headlines. Unfortunately not. Trevor Immelman says it, and it's is this actually going to happen?
We do need to get someone on here that could articulate a good argument against it.
I agree. But I don't know who that would even be. Who would be against it?
Who's a big anti-Players Championship being a major guy?
Get a live person on here? I don't know.
Brooks Koepka. Koepka.
Yeah.
Might be a good one. Happy Gilmore returns Go to your happy place on July 25th with Happy Gilmore 2, only on Netflix. After 29 years, Adam Sandler brings his iconic and beloved character back to the green. You saw all the premiere stuff. Scotty Scheffler showed up to the premiere with the claret jug. By the way, I think the claret jug, Trent, it's got to be the best trophy in golf, right?
Yes. I think like by a lot.
By a lot. That thing is it's a handsome looking trophy.
Yeah, and you can, again, and I'm always a big proponent of trophies you can drink out of. You can drink out of the claret jug. And that's, once you have that, and it's so old, it's got so much history, it's number one for sure.
Yeah, I agree. There's a bunch of pro golfers featured in Happy Gilmore 2. They've got Rory, Scotty, Brooks, Bryson, JT, Will Zalatoris. You saw a bunch of them at the red carpet for the premiere. Happy Gilmore, probably the most quoted movie for our generation in golf. It's not even close every single round. Probably dozens of times every single round. Somebody says something from Happy Gilmore. So once again, reminder, only on Netflix. Go to your happy place for Happy Gilmore 2 on July 25th. Golf is hard, but protein is easy with one Hershey's double chocolate. These are incredible, made with 18 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar to deliciously fuel your golf game. These are iconic. Another thing that's iconic, Englishman John Perry recorded the only hole-in-one at this year's Open Championship. By the way, I believe that was a wager in terms of a prop bet.
I did. I had a little bit of money on that. Shout out to John Perry. And I mean, they had it. I think they had it. It was minus money, so they thought there was definitely going to be one. I thought there would be more than one, but yeah, shout out to Mr. Perry. What a cool thing to have on your resume that you made a hole in one at the Open Championship. Like, you'll be telling your grandkids about that.
That's all time. I'm sure they give you something really cool. I know they give the silver that you get at the Masters tournament, which we've had a couple folks come out here and have told us about that, from Trevor, I think even the part 3 tournament. But during the third round at Royal Port Rush, Mr. John Perry aced the 13th hole, playing about 192 yards with an 8-iron. I will say, I recently, while playing, came about as close as I could come to a hole-in-one in terms of what it looked like off the tee. It wasn't actually as close as we thought, but I was quite embarrassed because it was it was like 142 or something into a little bit of wind, and I hit like a 7-iron, and I just remember thinking, like, if this is going to be my ace, would I have to lie about it and be like, oh yeah, I hit like a 9-iron?
I think about that when we have we hit like a 205-yard par 3, and I've got a hybrid in my hand, and I'm like, is this what I'm going to tell the world that I hit on this hole? And I mean, you have to, but that goes through everybody's mind, and it never happens. Like, it's just a problem I'm never probably going to have to worry about, but it does go through my mind.
I know. Me too. Yeah. Holes in one. Maybe our channel will get one sometime. But the point is, when it comes to the one Hershey's double chocolate made with Hershey's cocoa, as good as it looks, trust us. Try one's other delicious flavors. One Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers, one Hershey's Cookies and Cream, and their iconic one Maple Glazed Donut, and one Birthday Cake flavors. Try the new one Hershey's Double Chocolate Protein Bar, as good as it looks.
You guys watching Stick on Apple TV?
Dude, I meant to start that up last night, and I just got distracted by TikTok. I'm going to watch it, though.
Really, really good. It's very difficult to make a golf show entertaining, I feel like. You know, like you sit around and you think about what a golf show would be. And obviously you've got your Caddyshack and your Happy Gilmore too. And these are movies that are like, you can pack everything into it. And there's like the climb and then the decline and then the climax. It's very easy to kind of put it in like a 2-hour, not easy, but more doable. You know, you stretch a golf show into multiple episodes, multiple seasons. You need to have a really good premise. And I think they've nailed this one, where obviously Owen Wilson is an incredible actor, and I'll watch anything that Owen Wilson's in. I mean, he was in Loki, and I'm like, that guy nailed Loki. Like, he's so good in that show. He's obviously great in every movie he's ever been in. Owen Wilson's the man. It's just, and Mark Maron they have in there, who's so funny.
I love Mark Maron.
The premise that they have of you know, an old PGA Tour player that shined bright and then fell off and is trying to find that new spark, you know, by kind of putting his money behind a guy. It's almost like Alistair. It's almost like Riggs and Alistair, where like Riggs found this guy and he's going to like run behind him and put all of his effort and money and all of his mind is going to go towards this kid that he thinks has the chance. And the way that they kind of do it and how the comedic parts of it. And then also just the thing that I love is the kid's got a great swing. So it feels realistic. And they use a lot of awesome new like shots that I think like people should use in YouTube golf videos, like with drones, and they did a really good job. It's like a really well put together golf show. So I mean, I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth the watch for any golfer.
What's it on again?
Apple TV, which Apple TV's on a great run.
They
like
really
I just gave my dad my Apple TV login, and he had never had Apple TV, and he's just going through the gauntlet of all those shows. Like there's a lot of really good ones. He's like, I'm going to start Ted Lasso. I'm like, God, dang. Like, that's like, what a journey you're about to go on. Like, you're starting
I've never
Ted
seen
Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Oh, my gosh. Like, Ted Lasso just makes you feel good. You want to talk about a guy that's stressed. Like, my dad's always stressed. He's at work. Like, coming home to watch Ted Lasso is good for him.
Right. Okay. Ted Lasso it's a light lift. It's not the
so
Sopranos.
Good.
I also got no idea what the premise is of Ted Lasso. I have no clue.
That's good. Just watch it. It's so good.
It's a feel good show. Those are so rare now. Normally now you're in like it's true crime and this woman disappeared on a boat and you're like, oh my God.
You watch Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV, which was phenomenal. And then he's watched Stick. And it's like you're just going through good ones. And there's so many other good ones on Apple TV right now. Shrinking is really good. Silo is really good. Severance is incredible. Like Apple TV might be up there. They might be overtaking HBO.
Killing it.
HBO takes too much time. HBO only has a couple of big time shows, and they take too much time. Like we're still waiting for the Dragons show. Like when was the last episode of the House of the Dragon? 3 years ago? I don't even know when the last.
In fairness, Severance took like 3 years to put out the second season.
True. I guess just Apple has so many that are good that like it holds you over.
I'm gonna watch Stick. It's weird you said that because last night I was thinking about turning it on, and then I just fell into a TikTok wormhole, and I was there for 3 hours, and I looked up and I was like, "Holy
dude,
fuck.
I can't get into TikTok wormholes. I've never once done it. I don't know. I've just never once done it.
But I think I do it on Instagram, so there's really no difference.
Yeah, I guess
there's no difference. I'm just more of an Instagram dude. I'll just catch myself having doom scrolled on Instagram for 45 minutes and I got nothing out of it.
Yeah, definitely Instagram for me. TikTok has not grabbed me.
I guess it's pretty much the same thing. The thing that's so weird about TikTok is it makes you emotionally invested. Like you run the gamut of emotions watching, whether it's Reels or if it's TikTok, it presses all these emotional buttons, but like you said, Riggs, you get nothing out of it. It's so weird. It's definitely really, really bad for you. And it's gotten worse for me. Like I will legit sit there for like 2 hours and just scroll. And it's like, but I will feel like, oh, there's an emotional one. Oh, there's a happy one. Oh, there's a scary one. But I'm not getting any of the actual experience out of it. It's so fucking weird.
That's my big issue with it. And again, I do it every day. I was just doing it minutes ago before we started this podcast. And it's like, I really am trying to train myself instead to put on a show or a movie, because even like getting back into movies, like I watched Almost Famous for the first time ever, like a couple weeks ago. I'd never seen it. Phenomenal movie. And like, there's a lesson and a character arc and like a beginning, middle, and end. And there's usually an inspirational takeaway from the movie that you could draw from the characters, like all the different characters. And in doom scrolling, there's none of that. It is like, it's so quick and it hits you with either like horror of like someone getting murdered, or it hits you with like, it does hit you with a quick dopamine of like something beautiful, like some man runs across the street and saves a dog, but then you're immediately on to like tits and ass or something. It's just, there's no like, like you don't get immersed in it like fully for one theme, really. You know what I mean?
Like, it's like 200 years ago, to make someone cry, there would have to be like a death in the family, like something really horrible happened, and you get very emotional, and you would just be drenched in that emotion because you're living a life experience that is causing that emotion. I can watch 3 TikToks and cry and have the same feeling, and that cannot be good. That can't be good.
And like you take a third person view of it, and you're like just sitting in a chair with a phone in your hand.
Right.
Right. That's like that guy, Andrew Huberman. I listened to him talk on Theo Von. He's talking about like porn watching too, where it's like, it's ruining actual like the development of human brains as we go forward, because like you're getting like this satisfaction of just like watching something and you're not connected to it, right? Like Trent's watching like a puppy getting saved and brought to a home, and like he's sitting there crying, but he's actually just sitting in his living room, not actually feeling any of it or like touching it or experiencing it, but he's getting those emotions. So like your body now, and I don't like the development of what the humans can do now is like going to start to shift over the next hundreds of years to like that just being the only thing you need to just like sit there and feel that, as opposed to actually going out and experiencing it on. It's like the Matrix, right?
Well, yeah, the like the sexual side of it of, you know, normally you live a normal human life before the internet, I would even say, or before you see us as heterosexual men, you see like a couple dozen women. You'll see 50,000 women in a day. You go on TikTok. And it's just that can't be good for your brain.
That's actually like a epidemic, I guess. It's not a pandemic, it's an epidemic. It's actually really bad. It's like ruining the world, I think, because it's so accessible and it's everywhere, and it's so ingrained in our society now that you like reality has now gone. Like you don't know what like reality is, and it's like ruining people's relationships, and it's ruining people being able to communicate with each other. I don't know how we got onto this topic. I guess I brought it up. But like it really is, it's bad.
July
like
22nd, we got no majors to talk about.
We're talking about we're talking about the fifth major. No, it's bad, dude. Like it's just, you sit there and you're just like, I can access anything, and like it takes away that drive to actually want to do it in real life. You know, it's bad.
Yeah, and I still do it, and I gotta at the very least cut back, because I scroll and I scroll and I scroll.
Like I wonder if, and this is super dark, but I wonder if you got like if someone told you this is when you were gonna die, and you had a countdown clock of like how much time you had left. And I talked about this with like sleeping, like how little you would do all the stuff that we do that wastes time. I bet you we would do none of it. Sure, you'd like look at TikTok and Instagram like on your way to something, but think about how active you would be and how incredibly just like alive you would be for that time that you have.
Yeah, and I know you're trying to milk it like for stuff other than doom scrolling.
You got to live like it's your last day, and that's such a quote that just ends up on like every like, you know, waitress's Instagram account or something, right? Like, but like
shot of waitresses there.
You have. I think one of the waitresses at Borelli's put it up the other day. That's why it's in my head. Like you do have to live like it's your last day, and like that's just another way of putting it. We do so many things every single day that just waste time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like the most time. And that's not saying like, all right, like you drive somewhere, like at least you're getting something. You're going to experience something. You're sitting on a flight, you're going somewhere, you're experiencing something new. Like when I'm just sitting down, just like clicking through the channels, and I'm there for like 4 hours. If I had a clock that said like, all right, you've lost 4 hours on your life now, you're 4 hours closer to the end, that would make me want to puke. Like I would never do that.
Things have gotten so bad that like Riggs just said what he likes to do is sit down and watch a show, where 30 years ago that was the thing that was bad. People were like, stop getting in front of the TV and, you know, go outside and do something. Instead, that's our thing now, that is like, we're doing something right, as opposed to watching 4-second clips over and over and over and over again. Yeah. That's how bad it's got.
There is a limit to it, and I've always struggled with it, where like, you know, I'll ask like my friends like, oh, let's go out to dinner tonight, and they're like, no, we've got work tomorrow. I'm like, well, what if we die tonight? Like, let's go fucking to dinner. Like, stop saying no. And there's got to be a limit, right? Because you want to feel healthy, you want to feel good, you want to get your rest, you want to still be able to live within yourself, to be like, I want to enjoy everything. It's, you guys brought up that point about sleeping. Like, I feel way better getting 8 hours than I would. Like, sure, if I knew I was going to die in, you know, a year, I'm going to sleep as little as I can, but then I'll feel like shit every single day, and I'll actually be wasting my time there. So this is something that you struggle with a lot, or I struggle with a lot, where it's like, you want to live the most you can live right now while we've got it. Like, dude, like this is it. Like we're at the peak of it right now, you know? Like this is this is peak living right now. We got to go out there and stop scrolling. We got to go out and start like, I don't know, mowing the lawn, or like experiencing like life shit.
I think
I don't know why mowing the lawn was the first thing that came to my head. I think
that's nice. I love mowing lawns.
I can hear one going right now. Some guy's experiencing life while I'm talking into a microphone to a screen right now.
mowing the lawn's way better than some of the shit that I'm seeing on Instagram Reels and whatnot. So I think I'm with you. The most depressing part of the scrolling for me is the repetitiveness of it. When you see, like when you see the Rory ball pop up shot for, I don't know, like the 97th time in 2 days when I'm scrolling, and I'm just like, the first time I saw it, I watched it 4 or 5 times. Who wouldn't? It was unbelievable. You're trying to figure out how that happened. Holy shit, did he realize it? You're looking at the facial reactions of the crowd. You're listening for what the announcer says. Great. But like when it's a day later and there's been 400 new news stories that I already saw and care about more, and then I see it another 7 times and it comes up every 3 times of the reels that I'm scrolling through, and you're just sitting there being like, I am wasting my life away. My brain is rotting. I have no cognitive skills. I have no skills of observance. I'm not developing anything. And I know, like, depending on who the guest is, like Rogan will talk about this sometimes, of like, we've lost the art of just being bored, which I think goes a long way, where you just sit there and think, like you're alone with your thoughts. And that can stem creativity, that can stem reflectiveness, where you think about your relationships with other people. You think about how you haven't talked to this person in a while. You're thinking about a new aspect of something in your job that you hadn't thought about, versus instead of that, we're like filling, and I do it on flights. We all do it on flights. You're like filling as much as you possibly can to just not be bored all the time. And like, you get out your phone, you get out your iPad, you get out something on the flight, and you don't do any thinking. And I get people are raw dogging flights, and maybe that's the same thing, but like that to me stands out a lot, where it's like, when I'm on a road trip or I have a 45-minute drive and I just listen to music and look at the road and think a good amount, I get out of the car a lot of the time being like, that actually felt really good. I feel healthier and like in a better place than I was when I got in the car.
Yeah, I mean, last night I was sitting in the dark corner of the living room, and all you heard on my phone, it was like a drawing of someone what they're not supposed to do. It was a dark room, bright light in front of my eyes, and Hannah's looking at me, and all she hears from my phone is, "We want a batter, not a broken light." I was playing backyard baseball on my phone, just staring, because it just came out on the Apple store, and I'm just sitting there, just hitting home runs with little child Randy Johnson and child Sammy Sosa. It's the coolest game ever, by the way. Everyone should download it. Backyard Baseball 01 just came out on the iPhone. It's sick. So I've just been, and she heard the noise. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just playing backyard baseball." I don't know. Like, I should have been living right there. But the noises that were coming out of it, the game I was playing, I'm like, what am I doing? I was playing for like 2 hours. I played a full game, 9 innings against like the Mighty Melons. And I was just like grinding over, drinking juice boxes and and pitching screwballs. That all doesn't matter, I guess. And this kind of like circles back to Scotty Scheffler and what he was talking about, where I couldn't really understand what he meant about like, none of this matters. Like, it really, that's his job, golf. And like, no one really goes away from their job when you're working like 9 to 5 or whatever, as like feeling really fulfilled. And these are the things I'm talking about. Like, Scotty Scheffler also only has one life to live, and he, in his mind, puts way more meaning behind the things that aren't golf. So like, when he's out there, quote unquote, wasting time just playing golf, or, like, he can't understand why he's putting so much time into that, because he knows the other stuff he cares about more. And he only has one life. He only has one peak time. His kid is only this age for this amount of time. And then he's going to grow older, and he's going to miss all these milestones because he's out there hitting golf shots. He loves it. He understands it. He understands why he's doing that. But when he's done with it, he's like, why? Like, I love doing that stuff also. Why am I spending so much time doing this? So I know that I was kind of on Scotty for like me not understanding where it was, but like, the more I talk through it and the more that days have gone by and I've listened to it more, I kind of understand what he's saying. It's unique, and it makes no sense in the grand scheme of things, because he's the best player in the world. And like, you've never heard the best player in the world talk like that. But in a real person setting, if we were just sitting around and like having a beer, and he wasn't the best golfer in the world, he was just an accountant, and he was saying these things, I would totally understand. I think because we think his job is so cool, we're like, oh, people would die to be in your spot. Well, he's like, yeah, but it's my job. Like, I've just made my job really cool. Like, that's no different than being a mechanic, right? Like, totally. You don't get full fulfillment from like changing the oil in your car. Like, you want to go home and have dinner and see your family. Like, same with me. But like, my job is super busy, and I got to be all over the world, and it's like draining.
It's funny, like talking with my dad, who was a dentist for 40 40 years or something like that. And when he was a dentist, I always got the vibe that he just fucking hated it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the headaches, trying to get money from insurance companies, going in there. He would always talk about how, like, man, I'm trying to convince people if they've got an extra $1,500, I'm trying to convince them not to buy a big screen TV, but to like pay to get their teeth fixed, of all things. And people hate going to the dentist because it hurts and it's annoying and it never,
You
whatever.
got to change the noises. I've always said that. You got to stop with the drill noises. It's 2025.
It
I
is
shouldn't have to hear
horrifying.
it. Change
It's
it.
just horrifying. But he would always talk about that. And then now he's been retired for 3 or 4 years, however long it's been. I'm not sure. But when I do talk to him about it, he's like, there's a big element of me that misses it. And he's like, the part that I do miss about it is like on a day-to-day basis, people were coming to me in pain and I was fixing them and helping them improve their life and move on with their day-to-day life in a better place than they came to me in. And like when my patients would come in, I would catch up with them about their lives, and I'd be like, oh, they're telling me about how their daughter went to college and actually had some tooth issue. And I'd be like, bring her in. I'll help her out for free. He's like, I was just doing the thing that actually was like fulfilling me, even though it came off like it was miserable. Like that was my life. That's like what I did for 8-10 hours a day, all the time for 40 years or however long it was. And so I do think like there's in any job, like a mechanic, like you just kind of mentioned. No, it's definitely not on the whole like as fulfilling. I imagine it's like winning the Open Championship. You got the claret jug, you're on the Tonight Show, whatever. But there's definitely an element of everyone finds it in their job of like when we wrap up the podcast and you like put a bow on it. We did the ads. We did a full hour and a half show. We like, it's like there's a certain part of like we accomplished something. That's nice. People now get to listen to that for an hour and a half. That's great. We did it. Cool. And there's an element of that in every job, but there's a huge element too in every job and everything that you do of like you're never quite getting there. Like I don't think anyone look at Elon Musk is like the richest person on planet Earth. And he's like sleeping at offices of companies he owns to try to like, and he's
like the most miserable guy on planet Earth.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
He's got
There's
the
no,
most
like,
money, and he's like, "This sucks, dude."
There's no fulfillment in that
office with like
motherfucker.
black eyes and stuff. He's just
Right. If you ever
So,
want to,
yeah.
if you ever want to think like, and we've talked about the money thing, but if you ever want to, if you ever get the most money, you're gonna be fucking miserable, dude.
oh.
What it took, the hours it took, the people you fucked over, it's just like I'm miserable, dude.
Right. And so I do like, I think no matter what your job is, I do think there's a lot of relatability in what Scotty was saying, even though it might not seem like it because he's Scotty Scheffler and he's,
Totally.
but
Were you guys
the best
surprised
of
at
what
how
he does.
quickly Rory picked up that other ball? I would have thought in my head that was my ball.
No, he definitely. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think if you watch the video, he watches his ball like fly out, like he knows.
There still
Yeah.
would have been a part of me that would have been like, I think my ball is between my feet somehow.
Unless he looked down and just saw like another logo, and he's like,
It
"What the
happened
fuck is this?"
fast.
Yeah,
It was like bang, bang, bang. Whoa, I'm holding this other ball. And like,
Agreed.
I'd have been like,
'Cause
oh
it's
man,
risky,
this is probably
too.
my. What's
Could be a
that?
penalty. You should pick up your ball.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, that was insane. The odds of that are astronomical.
That was
Embedded
stunning.
in the ground on like in the spot that he's going to make contact on a golf course. Like you're talking the most land possible.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it wasn't like his ball was in some 4-foot high rough and like
No.
there could be a ball in it. It looked like a pretty normal, like trampled down lie and some fescue-y stuff. That was wild. That was wild.
Do you guys want to talk about Tiger Woods being fully dressed at
Tiger Woods at
Charlie's
the
round?
U.S. Junior Am in Texas at Trinity with Charlie, who shot an 11 over par, I think, yesterday. He's tied for like 242nd at the U.S. Junior Am. Our guy, Dean Muratore, from Colonial Springs that we talked about, had a good first round. He was a couple under par, and then he ended up coming in with like 3 bogeys in his last 4 holes. I just talked to his caddy, Dan, our head pro at Colonial Springs, and he said it's amazing how tight it is out there. Like, not the course necessarily, because the course is really hard, but like just one little mistake and you drop from, call it 15th to 50th, because
Sure.
like it's so tight. The talent is so good, and he hits one in a penalty area and ends up making an up and down, but it's a bogey. It's like, that's a great hole, because like you end up in a penalty area, you have to drop, and then you end up making an up and down for a bogey. Like you're playing some still pretty good golf, but you lost a shot, and you also just dropped to like 20 or 30 other guys. And it's like, that mentally must really drain you. And then the next shot you pull because now you're chasing, and it's like, God, get off this golf course because you're playing real solid. So he's playing today, and yeah, Tiger Woods was there, and he's just got the people going, as Tiger Woods does. He heard our conversation last show, how golf is just kind of moving without Tiger, and how amazing the place golf is. And he showed up in full Sunday red outfit. You're talking the horizontal stripes, pants, golf shoes, the Tiger Woods Sunday red hat, walking like he's walking from the fairway of the 18th fairway of Augusta to the green to go win a major championship. That's the same walk that Tiger has on the golf course in that picture that we're referencing. Brendan, I don't know if you want to pull that up for the people on YouTube. It is laughable how much that guy looks like he's ready to go walk on a golf course.
It
He's
is
there
so
to just
funny
watch his son.
because I think, historically, if you follow Tiger and you read the books and you watch the documentaries, he's a guy who doesn't love the attention. He was really, really good at golf, and all the attention came, and it clearly just like got to him, and it kind of ruined his life. For a guy who has that in his past, he walks around looking like Tiger. Like, he got dressed that morning and it was like, everyone who sees me is going to know that this is Tiger Woods. He wore the Tiger Woods. The only thing it would have been more Tiger is if he would wore a red shirt. Like, I'm not saying he's trying to, I mean, it's Charlie's event. He's obviously being very supportive, and he loves going to those events with Charlie. There he is there. But like, everybody,
like he's looking for his ball after missing a fairway.
Dude.
Everybody who saw that guy that day was like, oh, well, that's Tiger Woods. You know what I mean?
That's like seeing Mickey Mantle walking around with a Yankee jersey and a baseball bat. You're at the local coffee shop. You're like, why is Mickey Mantle wearing his Yankee uniform right now?
Do you think, I wonder if there's a part of him, and I would love this if it's true, if he's there to like scare the other competitors.
Oh, I mean, listen, it didn't work. He shot an 82 or whatever. But like, yes, I do think that there's some of that.
But think about
like,
your guy, Dean. He's maybe thinking like, maybe Tiger's watching this shot.
100%. They know he's on property. I've been getting texts. They know he's there. They can feel. They can feel the cat.
It's like a little. Maybe he even doesn't even think about it. He just wakes up and he's like, "Well, I'm going to go be Tiger Woods at this golf tournament." When every other kid there is like, "Holy shit, man, that's Tiger Woods."
Yeah, it's tough because he's the most famous guy like ever in golf, and like he has to go to his son's event. It's like hard to not be Tiger Woods at a golf event, right? Like,
well, true. He also like contractually and whatnot, right? Like sure he needs to be wearing, if he's out at like a public event, Sunday red stuff. The part that gets me, I don't even mind the shoes. I've defended the shoes forever. We've been caught wearing shoes. Like,
oh yeah,
unless you're going to go buy a pair of hiking boots or something, the best shoes you're going to have for walking around a golf course all day are golf shoes.
Correct.
Get you out. That's
Correct.
So I understand wearing the shoes more than I understand the like people that golf don't even wear that golf of a golfy outfit even more. Things have like
belt,
changed
man.
a little bit. And he just, the belt, the striped shirt, the whole fit, it blew me away when I saw that. Again, I thought he was playing. I really didn't understand. I get the shoes. I thought the outfit, there's more casual stuff that they have at Sunday Red for sure. I've got some of it. It's nice.
100%. It was, but I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a single thing about it. I love it. I love it. There, he also put out a video of what's he building a golf course in Utah? I don't know if you guys watched that video.
He is.
Those are great too.
Glad you brought
that
up
one.
Utah.
He's got the Trout National one with Mike Trout in Jersey. He's got a couple courses coming out.
That's right.
Glad you brought up Utah. Utah, we talked about Ireland going to golf. Utah is vaulting up my list. I know we played Sand Hollow really quickly. We were way off on that, by the way. We drove 2.5 hours from Vegas, different time zone. Showed up an hour late for our tee time, thinking that we were on time for our tee time. So we've been to Utah technically. But Utah golf, especially now that I live out here, Arizona, what is it, Black? Our friend Kyle Cochran from CMC was at Black Desert, I believe, last week for some work meetings and stuff, which is where they had the event last year, where it's like the like melted lava looking black like rocks all over and then just green fairways, and was saying it's insane. And then when I was at the LA Barstool Classic a couple weeks ago, we had a bunch of guys from Utah out there and we were just getting going. I was pulling up courses. So I think we're going to try to maybe bring some Barstool Classic stop or two to Utah. And then I think we need to get our asses out and film in Utah at some point because it looks amazing out there.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the feels like that's like the new creator spot right now. I know like Melosi's from the Utah area, so he's always
Yeah.
filming out there. I think the Bob guys just went out there. So, I mean, it's definitely catching people's eye. It's beautiful. I mean, Sand Hollow was one of the more outrageous looking golf courses we'd ever played. That one hole that was on the side of the cliff is just insanity.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree. That place is that spot's incredible. I do really want to play in Ireland. You guys got me kind of jacked up about that. Like, I
Come
really
on,
want to
Frankie.
build that
Let's
out.
go, man.
I want to go to a couple of pubs. I want to have Guinness.
Yeah.
Even though I'm maltose intolerant now, I got that endoscopy report back. You're telling me I'm maltose intolerant?
I don't even know what that is.
It's like malt. So it's like, stuff that like, it's like beer has malt in it, and like all these, like, bread, anything I think that like rises. It's like, bro,
You're going to become a no gluten guy?
Oh, no.
no, it's not like gluten free. I don't know. I think Brendan's also this too. It's like, you just got to watch certain things. Like, beer just makes your tummy hurt, your tummy itch.
Was that the only, I mean, if that's what you're getting back from your results.
And
that's pretty
lactose intolerant, they said,
It is
but like,
good.
I could just take a lactate. But basically, it's like, like there's like, it's on a range of like 15. Like, if you're like, the number goes to 15. If you're 15, you're not lactose tolerant at all. And I am 10. So I'm not like, she said that she's seen one before where like you literally have no enzymes that fight off dairy. So like, I'm okay. Like, I had pizza last night and I felt good. It's not like I'm shitting my pants.
Well, I would say anecdotally, where were we just? Oh, we ate at that restaurant. We had like a chocolate sundae. We had a 40-minute drive and we couldn't make it. We had to pull.
I didn't have my lactate on me.
You just dropped heat in a restaurant somewhere in like Los Altos.
Absolute heat. Walked in, I said, "Where's the shitter?"
That's a 15 if you ask me.
Yeah, that's a 1. That's a 1.
That was like a couple of years ago. I was telling similar stories on this very podcast about how I just have to shit a lot. And my mom, I remember calling me, we were talking. She's like, "Have you ever considered like your diet?" And I was like, "Well, not really." Changed my diet with a lot of dairy and whatnot, and it's been infinitely better for like 2 years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ice cream goes right as I get older. Ice cream goes right through me. My body barely gets to enjoy it.
I want to give you guys a tip on ordering pizza. Last night we went to a local pizza place out here. I talk about it a lot. Mama Santina's. They're getting the most pup of all time. Also go to Borelli's. You can also order Borelli's on Goldbelly. That's been going through the roof. My dad is like, why do I do things that make me not leave the restaurant? He's now bagging pizza bags, 50 of them like a day now. Just like he's got this little machine.
This guy was the busiest guy in the world serving East Meadow. Now he sent
us a video yesterday of him pulling weeds outside of the restaurant. He was using a steak knife. And he was just like, "Here we go. It's Monday at Borelli's." And you just hear a knife hitting gravel. I'm like, first of all, it's not what you got to be doing out there. And number 2, like, get home and get in the pool or something. Like, do something else. But make sure that you're keeping him even more busy by ordering those on Borelli's. It's awesome. They're coming out so great. But went to this place down the block. And I used to do this my back still hurts. I used to do this when I was working at Borelli's and I'd make my own pizza. I would take the ingredients. So I'm a big sausage, onion, and peppers guy. Yeah. Sometimes I'll throw pepperoni in there also. And what I do is I dice it up. Okay. So I take all those ingredients, I throw them on a wood block, and I start chopping real fine. You get your sausages nice and small, little cubes. You slice up the pepperonis into a million different cubes. You dice those onions, right? The peppers, little pieces. And when you sprinkle them on that cheese pizza and you have that pizza made, it throws in the box, you come home. Last night we had, and you take that bite. All those ingredients are in each bite, as opposed to if it was just one big piece of sausage and one big piece of pepper and then a pepperoni. It's like that ingredient overtakes the bite as opposed to it being chopped up all across. So that's my one thing that I've been doing when I do get toppings, right? If it's not like your New Haven style pizza where it's just that nice thin crust burnt, you want it to be is just that cheese and that sauce. If you're going toppings, dice it up. Tell them to dice it.
Bro, I'm just picturing me on the phone with Pizza Hut being like,
"Could you dice it?"
Dice? hey man, can you just dice that shit up? It's like, bro, we sell $11 pizzas. I'm like, but you just gotta dice up.
This was it last night.
No, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. If it's a local
There's
spot,
baby
they'll
in the
obviously do
background.
it.
Just
But
like
when
chilling on the table. But dude, I'm talking. You see how it's in every bite though?
Of course, it's a great idea.
That is a good
Especially
idea.
with those
It's a good
onions
idea.
and the sausage. You want it all. You don't want that big piece of onion, that big long strip. You want them diced up.
Some
Could you
teenager
dice it?
working
Just
down the
say,
street
could
at
I get
Pizza
a
Hut's gonna be
large
like, this
cheese
guy
pizza,
is-
sausage, onion, and peppers? And do you mind dicing up the ingredients? It's a little weird, but like, do you mind just chopping it up? Just chop up the ingredients and sprinkle them on. And they'll be like, no problem.
There is
If
a
they say no, tell them I sent you, and that like they're doing it better in New York. Like start to give them a little attitude. Well, they're doing it in New York.
doing it
You're
in
in
New
Jupiter,
York.
pal.
Right. You're in Scottsdale, dude. We don't even make pizza out here. What are you doing?
It actually feels more like a Domino's type thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not traditional.
You can order. It's one of
something
the
that-
options on the app.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not traditional. Like you're not seeing like, Nona and
But I
Pop
will. I
Pop
mean,
doing
it's
that.
it's been a problem my whole life when you get a pepperoni pizza. One slice has 8 pepperonis, the other has 3, and it's
Chop it
like,
up.
the fuck?
Chop it up, dice it.
Chop it up, dice it.
This episode is brought to you by Brex. Every company is looking to get more from their dollars these days. Meet Brex, B-R-E-X, the modern finance platform that helps companies do just that. This is the one that we use. This is the one that we transferred to relatively recently, and it's made a huge difference with expenses. It's literally made us personally a good amount of money because we went from just not filing expenses because it was such a pain and it was so annoying and it was so tedious that you're just kind of making the calculation in your head of like, that's just so much time and effort that it's not worth X amount of money to me. So I'm just not going to do it. To Brex, which has earned the trust of over 30,000 companies, including us here at Barstool. You just take like a picture of a receipt, upload it to the app, bang, it just files that expense. It's unbelievable.
It really has made me thousands of dollars. Like when
Same.
we'll be traveling, there's months where I think this April I was home for like 4 days and I was on the road the rest of the month. And you're right. In the past, I would just be like, I'll maybe do a couple of these, but I'm not going to do the whole trip because that's going to take me 6 hours. But with Brex, it takes me 45 minutes, 30 minutes to do a month's worth of expenses. And that money gets back into your account. They send you alerts. They send you emails. The app is seamless. It's very easy to use, very easy to upload the receipts and all of the reimbursements that you want. Brex it's been a life changer for me the last couple of months because it's just money coming in that I wasn't giving myself before.
It is. It's
crazy.
It's legitimately making us thousands of dollars. So big shout out, big thanks to Brex. Corporate card, banking, expenses, travel, all in one place. Brex ensures that the best companies can spend smarter and move faster. You can learn more at brex.com/grow. That is BREX.com/grow. We absolutely love Dunkin, especially for a coffee on the way to the course or some food after a round. Right now, they're serving up the ultimate $5 meal deal, 1 medium hot or iced coffee and any 2 wake up wrap sandwiches, just $5. No joke. I'm going to Dunkin' right now. As soon as we're done with this podcast, it's 8:30 my time. Got up early to get this thing done, cooking out of the way. So I haven't had my coffee yet. I'm going to Dunkin' to get the $5 meal deal in mere minutes. And I can't wait.
I'm actually in the same boat. We started this podcast a little bit earlier than normal. I haven't gotten my coffee yet. And being partnered with Dunkin' is a dream come true. I'm a huge coffee guy. Riggs, I know you're a huge coffee guy.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that we can work with somebody like Dunkin' is just like, man, that makes everything worth it. It's a great company. I love just getting a big old iced coffee, get a little bit of breakfast, maybe get a donut if I'm feeling it. And I'm just a huge Dunkin' guy, and I'm going there right after we're done here.
I am too. I'm going to get the sausage and cheese on both wraps. I'm going to get, I like to get the medium iced coffee. They've got a great sugar-free hazelnut, and then I get a little oat milk in there. People can judge whatever they want, but I cannot tell you how delicious this thing is. I cannot wait to get there. So don't sleep on breakfast's biggest deal. Swing by your local Dunkin' or order ahead on the Dunkin' app to lock in the $5 meal deal today. And don't forget to check out the Internet Invitational later, coming out this fall, presented by Dunkin'. Speaking of chopping it up and dicing it, boys, let's leave here with the United States Ryder Cup team. So I'm going to go.
Dang.
I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to just list the first 6 guys in points. I think it's going to be pretty obvious who we're locking in. Scotty Scheffler, yes. Xander Schauffele, yes. JJ Spawn, yes. He's number 3 in points.
That's unbelievable. He deserves it, though.
He does. This one surprised me. Russell Henley is number 4 in points. He was a dog at the President's Cup. Top 6 get in. So I think that's just an automatic pretty much yes.
What about Russell Quarterzip?
Nice.
Nice. Everybody agree? I mean, I don't think it's even going to be a choice because as long as you finish top 6, you're an automatic.
Yeah,
he's just going to make it. Like he's just going to make
so
it,
he's
which
in.
is nuts. Like what the fuck has Russell Henley been doing this year?
Dude, sneaky he just is a top 10, 20 machine. I mean, obviously he won with the chip in that they didn't show on TV at the Bay Hill Invitational, but
wow, that's stunning to me.
Number 5, Bryson DeChambeau in. Keegan already said he's in, or I believe one of the assistant captains said he's in. So we've got our 5 guys so far. We've got Scotty, Xander, JJ Spawn, Russell Henley, Bryson DeChambeau. Number 6 on here is Harris English.
So explain to me, these guys, like, there's still events, right? I mean, like this.
There's still events. So I would say if you're 6th in points, Harris English is by no means a lock. However, Russell Henley at number 4, I really doubt he's going to drop off in the next month.
Right, because I'm looking down like Ben. I mean, I know you're going to get to it, but like Ben Griffin's like 4,000 points away, 3,500 points away or something like that. Like, I don't even know if he can overtake a guy like Russell Henley.
Right.
I just don't know how many points you accumulate per event where like, could a guy like Russell drop out? Probably not.
And even if he could, I think he would be a pick, right? Like even if he fell to 7th with the year that he's had, and he was so good in the President's Cup. You remember it was him, Kiz was with that group, and Kiz was just like, this guy is a dog. He doesn't miss, whatever. So I think he's got that, but Kiz is one of the assistant captains. So like, I think he's just going to be on the team regardless. But you're right. Once we get to like Harris English at number 6, I'm not a math wizard with these points either, but I feel like this guy in 6th place, he just, had a great finish. He moved up 4 spots. So I think he's by no means a lock to be on the team from a point standpoint. So we can leave him on red real quick. But Justin Thomas, number 7, I think he's an automatic yes.
Yeah, it gets the people going. You always see that kind of come up. I saw it coming up on social yesterday. Justin Thomas, and people were like, "Oh, he's not really performing well in majors. Like he's not performing well in the big events." But he's putting together a pretty good year.
And fact that he's right there in points, and he got in last time when he wasn't right there in points.
Yeah, he's a shoo-in. I mean, you have to have Justin Thomas on. We've been on that train. We said, I mean, dude, when they got their asses kicked in Rome, he was like the only guy bringing the juice, walking around, playing. He had his hat off, waving all the people. Like he's just, he's the guy, man. He's the captain of like that. He's the captain of like the players. It feels like he's the guy that everyone rallies around. You can't leave him off. It's not a boys club anymore, so no one can say that. They're not picking the same guys. Russell Henley and Harris English are going to be on this team. Come on. Like there's this, you need a Justin Thomas on there. You need one.
I think he's a lock. I agree with that. So JT, that's our 6th. So we're halfway through the team with locks. Harris English, we kind of left as a maybe, but again, I think he'll probably end up on the team. Then you go to Colin Morikawa. He is 8th in points, so it's not like he's horrifically out of there, but I will say he has not had, his greatest stretch right now. Having said all that, I can't even fathom leaving him off. I'm definitely not leaving him off.
No,
I want him on
you're
there.
putting Colin on there.
He's a fiery guy, and I think he gets up for events like these.
I agree. So Colin, yes, that's our 7th guy. Colin Morikawa. I love Colin Morikawa too. He just kind of gets me going.
You got to put Harris English on there.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's not going to drop. He's not going to drop out. So I think he's in there.
Okay, so we got 8. 8 of our guys are locked up. I completely agree with you guys. I just wasn't getting that vibe, but now I feel like we're coming around. We like Harris English playing really well, coming off a great finish. All right, we got 8 of our 12. Now, we start getting into the interesting territory. I'm going to just list a handful of guys that are right here. We've got Ben Griffin, Keegan Bradley, Maverick McNeely, Brian Harmon, Andrew Novak, Patrick Cantlay is 14th in points, Sam Burns, 15th in points, Wyndham Clark, 16th. Going down 19th is Cam Young. 21st is Tony Finau. 22nd is Chris Gotterup, but he obviously has the recency bias. playing really well the last couple weeks. I'm gonna say Keegan Bradley. What do you think about Keegan Bradley? You think he's playing on this team or not?
I do, yeah.
I think he is. I think at this point there's so much hype around it. I think if he plays well coming in, right, he'll be in the playoffs. Hopefully he plays well at some of those events. If he continues to play well, he's a shoe-in for sure. I mean, the guy won, so it's like you got to put him in if he's
What
playing
did I
well.
see from Luke Donald the other day? He like gave his blessing or something about
There's something about the other captain has to almost like approve that he can be a playing captain. What is
it really
that?
felt that way. The headline that I read here, it says Luke Donald accepts Keegan Bradley's addendum to Ryder Cup captain's agreement. So basically, yeah, maybe before you just have to get the blessing from the opposing captain to be like, yeah, you can play and be captain.
No, I believe I think that the part of that stipulation was that a vice captain can step in as like captain's role.
That's right.
Right. Luke Donald had to bless that. I think he had to do some blessing of that. But I agree. The fact that they're taking that step, it's like this is getting pretty real. So I am going to put Keegan Bradley on that team. I know from hearing him talk here, it's like he's changed his tune a little bit, winning Travelers and all that. Of like, oh yeah, this is a real deal. This guy, it's quite simple. I think if Keegan thinks that their team is better with him than with someone else there instead of him, then he's picking himself. And I think he's right, and he should do that. I think he's a fiery guy, too. He's a fiery player. He, again, was awesome at the President's Cup last year, dude. Remember him hitting winning putts and shit and, like, being one of the emotional leaders of the team on the golf course was just phenomenal. So I really don't know how he doesn't make the team or get himself on the team or however that process is going to work. So, yeah, Keegan, that's 9 out of 12.
Okay.
The only reason I went all the way down that, Patrick Cantlay's 14th on the list, not playing the greatest, but man, a couple Ryder Cups, of the last 2 or 3 Ryder Cups, like he's turned out to be a huge name on the team. Him carrying Team USA on his back on that Saturday evening against Rory McIlroy with the no hat, getting chirped like hell from the European fans and making putt after putt after putt, which led Joe LaCava to pull one of the craziest moves in Ryder Cup history. I think they remember those things when it comes to picking guys.
I think Patrick Cantlay's got to be on the team strictly because Joey LaCava needs to be out there.
You think?
I don't disagree with you.
Like, I think that it's almost a cowardly move to leave him off, knowing that you want that Rory Joe rematch.
I mean, I want it. As a guy who likes narratives and I love that whole thing that happened in Rome outside of us losing. I would love that.
You're going to tell me out of all these guys, like a lot of them are rookies and, not household names just yet. You're telling me that you don't want the guy that like was in the middle of the fire the last time and like brought the juice and had the whole storyline and like you said was making big putts. Like of all the people, like we need people that have experience out there that have been through the fire. Like you can't discredit that. Like it can't just be X's and O's. It can't just be statistics and analytics. Like there is some value, a lot of value, in my opinion, to putting a guy like Patrick Cantlay on that team because he's just been in the mix. He's almost forged in the fire, regardless of what his stats are, regardless of what his results have been. I don't think it hurts to put a guy like that in the mix that has been like the center of attention, all the hate getting toward him on the opposing side. I like it.
Like I would rather have Wyndham Clark than Patrick Cantlay.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fiery guy, playing pretty well. Like, I don't know. Patrick Cantlay to me, like, honestly, I get that it came out in a way that like eventually was like, oh yeah, we're all rallying around Patrick. But what started it was like they thought that there was disarray in the locker room. They were like, does he want to get paid or is he going against these guys? And we don't know what's true and what's not. And I just don't know how everybody feels about Patrick Cantlay. I have no idea.
Yeah, the payment stuff, we were on him for that pretty hard. I mean, yeah.
Like the reason he was in the fire was because the report came out, true or untrue, and I don't even really remember, was like, this guy is fracturing the locker room because him and Xander are like, we want to be the guys who get paid.
Yeah. It's a good point. I had forgotten about that. I just kind of focused on the positives. Here's Patrick Cantlay, Whistling Straits 3-0-1, and then Rome 2-2-0 for a 5-2-1 all time.
Got to put him on the team.
Ryder Cup record. There is a lot to be said in golf about current form. That's what we talk about. This game's not linear. We talk about that all the time. People can be playing well. People can be playing poorly. It doesn't mean that they're a phenomenal player or a horrible player. That's just kind of how the game works. So I do think that matters. But I also agree with Frankie that it's as long as you're not playing horrifically, which I'm looking right here, like he hadn't missed a cut until the PGA Championship. He did miss the cut at the last 3 majors, but in between that, he's got a tied for 4th, tied for 12th, tied for 12th, tied for 32nd. I don't love that he went MC at the PGA, MC at the US Open, MC at the Open Championship. Those are not great things to see, but he's 14th in points right now. So it's not like, we're picking 12 guys here. But it doesn't sound like it's a lock. It sounds like from our consensus,
I get what Frankie's trying to do. Frankie's trying to protect the Bethpage Black locker room. He doesn't want Wyndham Clark on this team.
That's a great point. Bethpage doesn't even have like a locker room like that.
I'm fine with Patrick Cantlay.
You'll go Patrick Cantlay with us?
Yes.
Wow. We're at 10, boys. We're at 10. We got to come up with 2 more golf players out of, I would say, Ben Griffin, Brian Harmon, Andrew Novak, Maverick McNeely, Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, Chris
Tiger Woods is 145th
in the U.S. standings.
How does Tiger Woods have 44 points?
Masters last year made the cut.
That's it? Kevin Kisner has 17 points.
Kids top 10 finish last week.
Kevin Kisner has 17 points. Tiger Woods has 44.
What did you guys think of?
Where's Brooks Koepka?
He gets hammered by the live stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I just can't find him. Like I see DJ went up 22 spots to 100th. You got Phil Mickelson at 119. He's obviously not on the team. He's never going to be on. Oh, Brooks Koepka, 72nd, 906 points.
Think they throw him on the team?
I mean, that would be so outrageous, but like you've heard them talk about the live guys like in the plural sense that they're going to give them all the fair share that they deserve. I don't know that, I think they're going to look a lot more at the analytics of how a guy's been playing rather than these points for these last couple guys. Do you guys agree?
Mm-hmm. I do.
What do you think
Especially
about
a guy like Keegan Bradley? Keegan Bradley's been killed by this like point system in his life, like he doesn't want to go by this. He's going to go by who's playing and who deserves it. I don't know how Brooks has been playing. I mean, in live, I have no idea.
It's hard to tell. I know he's playing well, dude. The hot hand is usually a good thing in these events.
But then, like, all right, so if you're going to go down to like a Goddard or a Brooks, like you're passing over, the Jordan Spieths, and you're passing over like the Tony Finau's and the Cam Youngs, Daniel Berger. There's a lot of guys there, right? Like big names that could play well. Patrick Reed, we got to start talking about him.
I love a hot hand, and that's like. I can also just like picture Goddard in the Ryder Cup for some reason. He's American. He's a thick boy. He's from Jersey.
He hits it a mile.
Nice. We had Keegan on the show and we asked him about it. Like, what is your feeling on rookies? And he's like, if you look at it historically, rookies play really, really well in the Ryder Cup. Like not having that scar tissue, I think is a benefit and an advantage.
I'm going to go my final 2. Oh man. Fuck me. I do love Brian Harmon in these things too. Andrew Novak was like playing really well. We're going to leave our guy Sam Burns off. He's a great putter, but he hasn't been like amazing, I don't think, in team events. Oh, man. I would go. I think Ben Griffin deserves to be on the team.
Probably.
And I kind of like the rookie thing as well. And then I would maybe go. It's really going to depend on the playoffs, which. Again, we're doing this right now, so that shouldn't even matter because we're just going to re-choose it at that point. I think things are going to tweak a little bit. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 guys that change based on how they play in the playoffs. But I would say if Chris Goddard plays solidly throughout the playoffs, he would be on my team for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't hate that.
He's got the chains on.
In years past, if you threw a Chris Goddard on like those dominant teams, that's like gets me going. This team is a little scary. I don't know. The unknown is scary, dude. Like when we're talking, like we don't really know who to put in that like 10 through 12 spot, and then you look at Europe And like you've got like Ludwig at 9, Hovland at 10, you got Fitzpatrick at 13, Thomas Dietrich. You've got all, they're just so solid down there. And we've got so many names that are like question marks.
What's their top 6 look like?
But if you
Rory,
look,
McIntyre, Fleetwood, Hatton, Lowry, Straka,
and John Rahm, we're not putting in there because
oh,
he doesn't
John
have any points.
Rahm, John
He's
Rahm.
like 21st in points.
Straka's ours, dude, but whatever.
You also got to think about this. Like Ludwig was like coming out of college when they put him on the Ryder Cup team 2 years ago, and he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So it's like you got to also be able to take some risks. Their
Dude,
team
we
is
have
stacked.
you got some risks out there. You got Ben Griffin, JJ Spawn, Russell Henley, Harris English. Like this is not the team that dominated in Wisconsin.
But who do you think? So I'm looking like, through our list. I also don't think you have out of those people remaining like a lock.
Yeah.
That's like, oh yeah, this person's going to bring it. Like if anything, I think we're still in that spot of, Bryson alluded to it in his interview at the Open where he was like, we're sick and tired of losing. And so I think that the more rookies you get in, I'm almost safer because we don't have these like losing scar tissue kind of guys. It's tricky, man. It is very tricky.
I want
Goddard
Goddard on the team bad.
I do too. Like I think Finau at 21st in points is just, I think he's out. I think Cam Young at 19th in points is out. And unless these guys have unbelievable runs at the end of the year, I think Berger at 18th in points, I just think it's been too long with his injuries and stuff. I think he's out. So I think you look at like Wyndham Clark, Burns, Harmon.
I don't hate Brian Harmon out there. I don't
either.
But you got Brian Harmon and JJ Spawn on a team.
Watch out.
Just I picture them paired up walking up 15. Just like
So how many do we have?
The crowd doesn't see the swings, they just see a ball like they can't. Oh, these balls are flying onto the greens. What is going on?
They show up in one of the on top of each other, one of those big trench coats.
Like the what are those little guys called? The yellow guys,
Minions.
The Minions. God,
the Minions.
That would be their. Well, we're being mean now, but that would be their team name. It's a great team name. Honestly.
The Minions, dude, is great.
All right, so Riggs, how many guys do we have?
I'm putting JJ Spawn and Bolt. I'm putting Brian Harmon on that team.
Okay,
he's unflappable, and he also plays really well when everyone's rooting against him. Even though this is going to be like a rooting for you type thing, I think he's a guy that like needs that. He needs that like American fandom, like really, really like he deserves that. He's been going after all the European fans for a long time. They hate him.
Did you see what Xander's dad said about the Ryder Cup?
Yeah.
He's like, I can't even watch it, and he's like, it's getting out of hand, and it made me feel good about my shove prediction because that everything is like getting to the point now where I'm going to watch it and I want to watch it, and it's one of my favorite events in sports. But I think you get the expectation and the reputation of like a New York sports fan, and you get the Europeans in there, and it's all just like a big pot, a boiling pot. I think some crazy shit could happen. I don't want it to happen, but I could see it.
I agree. It'd be fun.
That's
why you need Patrick Cantlay out there.
So if we go Brian Harmon, we're now at 11, and then we would have to choose between Goddard, Griffin, Maverick McNeely, Andrew Novak, Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark.
I think Sam Burns is going to go up in the standings a bit during the playoffs.
You just really want to go with this team that lost, don't you? That's just what you're locked into.
I talk about it a lot with Justin Thomas. I think experience goes a long way. I think you have enough rookies in there.
We got the guys with experience got boat raced across the pond there.
Crushed.
I know, but they also, it was like a historic win right before that.
Was Sam Burns on that team? Let's see, 2021.
Was he on that team? He may not have been. I feel like Daniel Berger was, right?
I get them all mixed up.
He was definitely on that team that boat raced everybody at the President's Cup. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a trouncing. I do not see Sam Burns on this team.
Interesting.
So we got one spot left. That's what you're saying?
We got one spot left.
God, that sucks. I do not envy. By the way,
Daniel Berger was on that team.
Yeah, Berger was on that team.
No, I don't envy him either. This is hard. It's really hard. It's always hard, man. It's
And
always
he's got to
really
make
hard.
phone calls to everybody. Like, that's a shitty.
I think he's making a phone call to Goddard saying, not this year, but you're going to be a mainstay on this team going forward. Like, you just keep it up. I can already hear that call right now. Throw him on the team, though. If you guys want to be bold, this is our, coming from our graphic. You guys have 2-1. You want Goddard on there, go ahead.
I'm also thinking now we got to live with Ben Griffin. We didn't put him on the team. He's going to see that.
Well, Ben Griffin also could play well during the playoffs. Also, I mean, these guys are all playing well.
Mm-hmm.
They could rise up this league. I mean, there's what? How many events are there? Like 4 more events for these guys all playing?
Yeah, there's 5 total. 3 playoff
5 total.
events.
Like, that's a lot of golf to be played.
And then they've got the 3M and the Wyndham. So I don't know how many guys will play these next 2.
Watch a guy like Sahith Theegala just go on a generational run.
Be great.
It would be great. We
Love
want
to
guys
see
who are
him out.
playing
There's
well.
gonna be like, this is like the too early list, right? Like, there's gonna be people that start to show, because you said it's all about like how you're playing and like rounding into form. Someone's gonna get real hot in these playoffs that we're not thinking about. That it's gonna be like unimaginable leaving them off the team.
That's
Like,
what
they're
we're
gonna
going to
go
call
on a
this list, by the
Goddard
way.
up type run where you're like, how could we leave this guy off? And it's gonna be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the event.
We're going to call this the too early Ryder Cup list.
Yeah, I like
When
that. I
does he
believe
have
that
to
was the
pick the
Billy
team
Horschel.
by?
I think Billy Horschel won a couple events and wasn't on the team. And then they like changed the rules so that you could pick somebody later.
When does he have to have this team in by?
I want to say he makes his last picks after maybe the Tour Championship.
Oh, dude, this is the way too early list, man.
All right, call it the way too early list.
The way too early official foreplay Ryder Cup list.
Yep, they make it right after the Tour Championship.
So throw Goddard.
Throw Goddard up on there. Let
Let's get
history
Goddard
show
ups
that
on
there was
there.
at one point a chance.
I got Goddard up on here right now.
I'm willing to wear those bullets.
That's our team. We got our team.
Let's hear it.
Wow.
Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, J.J. Spawn, Russell Henley, Bryson DeChambeau, Harris English, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Keegan Bradley, Patrick Cantlay, Brian Harmon, Chris Goddard.
This is fun because we get to see just what the team ends up being. How close were we? There's definitely going to be discussion about like, why did you guys pick Chris Goddard up if he like doesn't perform or if he just doesn't have a good run here? But that's okay. This is like an early ass mock draft.
This is the 2025 way too early U.S. Ryder Cup Team via foreplay.
I love it.
That's our team, boys.
I hate it. I hate it.
This guy hates it. Hates that team.
Such a big name guy. I'm just,
Yeah,
scary.
I mean, because you're thinking back to Whistling when it was Brooks, Bryson, DJ.
Bombers.
Yeah, Bombers for sure.
This is Bethpage, man. Sending out freaking Spawn and Harmon. It's like, God dang.
Those
Big
other guys,
golf course. That's a big golf course, man.
big ballpark for sure.
Big ballpark. But, the Europeans don't strike me as like big ballpark players either. So, yeah, when I see it now, I see it in writing. It's better than I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's also just
You also got like Scotty, Xander, and Bryson on a team. Like, those guys are so fucking good. It's crazy.
they are really good. And like JT with the fire out there, Kyle Morikawa is not having
I
his
like
greatest
this
year,
team.
but like he's still. Keegan is so good and fiery. Patrick Cantlay makes so many putts. Harris English, solid. Russell Henley, solid.
I hated
Come
the
on.
team until I saw it in writing.
Amazing.
on.
That's great.
All right. It's our team for right now. That team is going to be going up against Rory, McIntyre, Tommy, Tyrrell Hatton, Shane Lowry, Sepp Straka, Rasmus Højgaard, Justin Rose, Ludwig Oberg. I feel like his name changes all the time. Victor Hovland, Thomas Dietrich, Matthew Fitz, John Rahm. That's going to be something that looks like their team. It's a pretty good European team, man.
Pretty good.
I know. All right. We want to do some voicemails there, Brendan Jones. We got some V-mails. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a little, let's talk about a little Truly Unruly right here. They got 8% ABV, which is, no joke. If you're wondering if it's a joke, it's absolutely not a joke. Truly Unruly Lemonade combines the high alc fun of Truly Unruly with everyone's favorite, which is lemonade. Lemonade let loose. 8% ABV, like I mentioned, 100% delicious. 4 supercharged lemonade flavors. Bumpin' Blue Raz, OG Original Lemonade, Punched Up Pineapple, Wild Pink. It's the official hard seltzer of Foreplay. You can level up your lemonade with Truly Unruly. Find Truly Unruly lemonade at a store near you or visit trulyhardseltzer.com. And a reminder, you just leave a voicemail at 646-685-4717.
What's up, fellas? It's JD from Oklahoma. I was just listening to the pod and put together that Frankie swings left-handed as right-hand dominant. I am the opposite, left-hand dominant, but swings right-handed. My question is, what are your swing thoughts that help overcome that left-hand dominance? Because I've heard swing thoughts from other guys that make sense, like if you were to throw with the backhand, but that's just not the way I handle things. So let me know what your swing thoughts are. Love the pod. Appreciate it.
So he's saying he's left-hand dominant because I'm right-hand dominant, but I swing lefty.
He's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I'm always, by the way, before you get into it, I'm stunned that you guys are that way on both sides of it. Like I can't even formulate that in my mind. I don't know why, but it just makes no sense to me. The fact that, I mean, you're a good golfer too. The fact that you're able to go out there and play really well and have your hands be different in that way is bizarre to me.
I mean, I think it's just like what society has like deemed as like the right way to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's one specific way that you should have like your dominant hand be the low hand or the top hand. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like,
but there's a reason, but there's gotta be a reason why we're the majority. Like when you're playing baseball, like my
baseball,
right
I think
hand,
you definitely get way more. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, every like power hitter was always like a lefty first baseman, not necessarily always a lefty thrower though.
I know, like in hockey, your hands are generally opposite. It's not across the board, but like if you are a right-handed person, you are taught to play hockey left-handed because your dominant hand's on top of the stick, which is the skillful hand that does all the movement of the stick. Your left hand's more of a placeholder. So like Wayne Gretzky is left-handed, best player of all time. Like he's actually a right-handed person. And I just don't know in golf if there is actually a direct like same thing, or if like Frankie's saying, like when we were growing up, it's been much more normalized now by Phil and a bunch of and Bubba and all that. But like, God, when we were growing up, dude, like left-handed clubs and playing left-handed in golf just didn't even exist. Like it wasn't even an option.
Still really hard to be a lefty. I mean, like
right.
A lot of the TaylorMade drops like don't come out lefty, and we've talked to them about it, and they're like, the numbers just aren't there. There's not that
like
many
it makes more
lefty
sense
golfers.
to be
right.
It makes more sense to be left-handed dominant and be a right-handed golfer because society would force you into that.
So I could see that. No, a society part for sure. I'm just saying like the actual swing. Like I watched a slow motion video of Scotty Scheffler's swing yesterday, and like how far he actually comes back. It's insane. Like I can't get my shoulders past here, and I obviously have like a pathetic body. He's all the way up top. It's insane. But you watch his left arm, which is his non-dominant arm, and it's like doing so much of the work. It's like stretching all the way out, and then it's pulling that club down to the target and getting it into the slot. Like there's something about, for me, I can throw my hands at a ball and I'm not like technically sound. So I always definitely come like way over the top, and I have to end up like turning the club face. And I think for me, having like that dominant right hand, like with one hand, I could swing with one hand real confidently. I could just throw the club right at it because this is where all my power is. I'm just like, I'm driving the club into the ground with this like really powerful hand in my mind. And I think that probably causes more harm in certain situations where like I'm yanking or I'm pushing, because you've got that hand that's turning the club a lot, or like that's really driving the force. And if I'm too hard with it or too so maybe like there's a reason why like that being the bottom hand is like, you know, you're guiding.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be some benefits for
That's
you.
interesting.
There's some benefits, but I'm sure that there's some cons to it as well, where like you guys can have like that bottom hand be the guiding strong hand and keeping that club face nice and square, because that bottom hand is like coming down through the swing, and you have like a nice strong base right there at the bottom of the grip that's like you know what I'm saying, as opposed to me throwing I have pretty good hand speed because of that, but you guys might have a little bit more stability coming through impact. I think that with baseball also, when I played baseball, I had really good hand speed of like throwing my hands at the ball, but I didn't have as much power. I also was built like a stick, but like I felt like when I I would like sometimes do like a little switch hitting, like in like the batting cages. And I had so much more power from the right side because it was that top hand was like really throwing the barrel through it. I felt like it was coming from my back right leg, you know, like I was really able to like step on one. And as a lefty hitter, my like power leg was my right leg. And it's like the one that you're like stepping forward with. It's not the one that you're generating all that power from. When you're a pitcher and you're on the, you're on the bump and you are pushing off of that rubber, you want that power coming from that right leg, which I am. That's why I'm a righty thrower. But in golf, like all that transition work, like going from your left leg to your right leg, like I'm all dominant right. So it might throw me off a little bit. Like I don't have that base. So yeah, I've always thought about that. Like where
get that base.
I don't have, you know, that I think it's all supposed to be in that back leg and you transfer it forward. And so I might be very, very much dominant, like on the leading side of the golf swing, which could help me in certain ways and could.
I bet it does. I bet there's some parts that are totally different to like me and Trent that it really benefits you. And there's parts where it probably hurts you that are completely opposite of us.
But you can still pump the ball. Like you can hit it. You hit your drives far.
Is Phil Mickelson a left-handed dominant person?
No, I believe he's right-handed as well. Righty.
Because I was going to say, and it's funny because I was butter knives for like 4 years and it's starting to creep back. So I got to call Dr. Brett McCabe. But like chipping, I could see it really helping with like, because they always say like that the bottom of the nub of your grip, like the bottom of it should like go down to the club and you can throw your hands right through the bottom. Like Phil could do that with one hand. If he's a dominant right-handed guy, that's how he can do that flop shot so good. He's got that bop, and he can cut right underneath it with that front right hand.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I could be off on it. You know, we don't actually know what we're talking about.
No.
I don't have many swing thoughts anymore. I watched a video, and we all have like videos that we just doom scroll and watched all these different tips. But someone was like, it doesn't actually matter. And this is like Riggs. This is to Riggs's point, like how you get to the backswing. It's all about how you make the contact. So like for me, I really just like worry about the contact, and I'm not even thinking about like the take back anymore. Like it doesn't like every pro golfer has a different takeaway. Every single one. There's no perfect takeaway. It's all about
look at Matt
making
Wolff,
contact.
You know, look at like
Matt Wolff, Kuchar, and all like, you know, you've got all these different guys have all these different swings. Tiger Woods has a different swing than Rory McIlroy, and Justin Thomas comes right over the top, but they all end up in the same spot. That's my like, dude, I've just been staring at the ball. I always say to my dad, I'm like, there's a difference between looking down and actually focusing on the contact. There's a major difference between just staring down, keeping your head down, you always heard, and actually watching the dimples of the ball hit the center of the club face. If you focus on that on the tee box, you actually can't really miss the ball. I don't know if I've ever done that. You know watch the ball hit the bat. Baseball players training watch the rotation of the spin to see if it's a curveball, slider, changeup. You're actually focusing on that thing so much that when you watch it hit the barrel, you can't miss the barrel. You're like, it would be outrageous to think you would just miss the barrel. You're watching it, right? And you're hyper focused on it. So for me, I really try and hyper focus on watching that contact. And it's hard because your head's moving and your body's moving and it feels like you kind of shift at impact. But dude, sometimes I really feel like I zone in on that and I fucking nut it right on the screws.
I mean, that's a good thing to think about when you're struggling, for sure, is like clear all your mind and just, that's kind of why people say be an athlete, right? Just like, dude, focus on that ball and hit the ball with the thing that's in your hands. That's all you got. That's all you're doing.
Dude, I give that tip to my dad all the time because he struggles. He dubs it a lot. He hits behind it and he like chunks a lot of grass around it. And like, that's his miss, is like this like outrageous full swing and the ball goes 9 yards. I'm like, how are you doing that? Like watch the ball. And he like gets all excited and he's like, I'm going to watch this one. He smokes a 3-wood off. And I'm like, watch it. Focus on that thing you're hitting. I'm like, if I told an alien, you got to hit this ball, you never heard of golf, this ball's not going to move, you just got to hit this ball, they'd be like, no problem. like no problem at all. I'll just watch it and I'll smack it. I'll smack the shit out of it. So that's my swing thought. It's not, I mean, listen, I'll throw a 105 in your face, no problem tomorrow. I got back issues.
All right, you got one more?
What's going on, boys? Connor from New York. Sitting on the Sunday tee box here, number 14, waiting for the group ahead of me to clear the green, and got thinking, why doesn't a golf cart company step in, sponsor a PGA Tour event, and convince the tour to let them use carts for the tournament? We talk about pace of play. Like, would it not be interesting to see if using cart across the entire field would actually help pick up pace? Can't imagine it would hurt. It'd be interesting to know. What are your thoughts? Have a good one.
We've talked about this. When you get down to it, we don't know how much carts would actually increase the speed of play. I think.
No,
I feel like
I
we've
don't
talked
know
about
that
that
either,
before.
especially with a foursome. With
Right.
a foursome, I don't like. If you're playing by yourself, I think it does, and you could drive the car anywhere. But any other situation from that, I really don't know that it does either, because of all the you got to drive to one guy's ball. He just sits there and waits for you to hit, and then you drive to the other guy's ball together, and then he hops out, and there's chit chatting in between, and there's zigzagging and all that. So I don't know how much it helps in general in like a normal foursome either. Tour would be interesting. Like if each person had their own cart or something, and you could just drive right to your ball. The only reason I even consider that would actually speed it up is just from when I did play the Grove that one time with Mr. Gretzky, and like their carts go like 50 miles an hour, and the caddy's like little motorcycle goes like 70 miles an hour, and like you're just at your ball, like you can't even. The sound waves from the last person teeing off haven't finished resonating with your ears yet, and like you're hitting on your second shot. You're hitting out of the fairway already because it's so fast. So if they had something really fast that was like individual carts or something, maybe. But I'm with you. I think generally, I don't know that I've seen a lot of proof in rec golf that like playing with carts is faster than walking.
I played on my own the other day, 59 minutes. I went under an hour and 9 holes at Colonial. Ripped around. Ripped.
Cart or walking?
Cart. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, walking, I've been
4 hours,
2 hours, 3 hours. So yeah, but honestly, the way on the tour, the way that these guys prepare for each shot and what goes into playing a PGA Tour event, I don't think it would make that much of a difference. I think there'd still be those big log jams of guys on the green, and it'd almost be like more waiting for them because they'd speed up to their freaking
I know
ball, and like the guys will be on the green. It's like, oh, now we're here just way faster. So you know what I mean?
I know. I think they spend so much time on and around the greens
That's crazy.
That's where it would come. That's where the issue would come, and you just have a bunch of guys in carts waiting in the fairway, which I don't think would help much.
Dude, the thing that
unfortunately.
we don't think about enough is how long it takes these guys to hit from shot to shot. Like I'll sometimes see, when they do like playing through or whatever, and they'll show those shots of Rory and his caddy, or just like he's eating like a little power bar and he's drinking water, and they're just talking, and they're talking for a while, and like they're standing there, and like sometimes it's 3, 4 real minutes, 5 real minutes before they hit that next shot. That's like something that we as just amateur golfers, especially at like private clubs, and I know that you can get this at public golf for sure, but not as bad as on PGA Tour. Like how much waiting there is from shot to shot, and how much that would throw me off my rhythm of just like the game of golf. How these guys are playing at this level with getting iced in between each shot blows my mind. It's not talked about nearly enough.
I agree, dude. It's so hard to play well and be in that rhythm with that weight, and they're more used to it than we are because they're professionals. Just like when they have a big rain delay for 3 or 4 hours and they come back out and then they get delayed again, and you hear them talk about it, and they're like, we've been playing golf our whole lives. It's part of the game, but it's still got to rattle you, man. Like, I know, wouldn't Brooks Koepka, didn't he say he would like reverse slow play people to try to like get his own mindset in like a spot where he wasn't rattled and flustered about it because it can affect you so much. I'm with you, dude. I remember trying to film when we were at the Keep, which, by the way, I was looking at a bunch of their stuff on Instagram at Macklemore. The Keep right now is popping. Mm-hmm. And the grass is coming in. It was looking green. It was looking great. But we posted that video where I played my own ball during the same round where you guys were doing the 50-yard Jersey Jerry challenge. And like, I was a single playing behind a foursome that was in front of us. And yeah, just waiting on tees and stuff was like infuriating. You're waiting for a while. You're trying to get in the rhythm. You're trying to focus and play your own ball, and watching them do it well. I love that you painted that picture of like Rory laughing, having a banana, and like in a fully engaged in a conversation for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then stepping up and swinging a club 125 miles an hour in like a
Crazy.
major championship setting. I don't know how the fuck they do that. That's nuts.
It's incredible.
All right. Anybody got anything else here?
Oh, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that I got the Torn singer incorrect. I said Natasha Bedingfield. It's Natalie Umbra, whatever. Who is it? Natalie Imbruglia. I was wrong. I kept saying Natasha Bedingfield like 10 times in that podcast, and people have let me know I was incorrect. So
I mean, we didn't
me.
correct you. I was just like, yeah, that's
Nope.
it. That's who it was. So,
we sing Torn at Pup Punk too, which is tough.
you know, sometimes you get it wrong.
Way to step up and own it. You know.
Yep.
Big man. All right. I think that's all I got, gentlemen. Everybody have a lovely weekend. Thank you for listening. And I'm sure we'll get some good responses to the Ryder Cup team. Credit to us not putting Tiger Woods on that team. Definitely considered it, but especially after the golf outfit. But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes, all of our sponsors. As always, looking very much forward to the Ryder Cup. Even doing the team kind of got me jacked up for just what to expect. And so, yeah, we'll be building up to that. But enjoy the weekend, everyone.
We're also going to be doing an event that week at Borelli's. I know that's starting to rev up. So if you're coming to New York that Wednesday, I think, before the Ryder Cup, make sure you mark that off your calendar. We're going to be doing a big event. We're talking music, podcast, drinks, the whole deal. Possibly some players down there. Like, it's going to be a big thing. Let's pack it out. Make sure if you're coming to New York for that Ryder Cup, that I think it's that Wednesday, right, Brendan? Is that what we've got kind of penciled in?
Yeah, that's the day.
Wednesday of the Ryder Cup, we're going to Borelli's. Yeah. We are going to Borelli's, and we're going to pack it out. We're going 70th year. It's a celebration. My dad will be crying. Let's pack that place out, inside, outside. Golf fans, just talking golf. Bring some like scorecards, like do some math on the table, you know, like that's like what Borelli's has always been, you know, like make the table a little messy, get some beers on there. I love it.
I like that a lot.
All right.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. Gear up for that week. We'll see you at Borelli's and hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.